Hello and welcome to the Zach Ratliff Show. I'm Zach. Let's get into it. First of all, I'd like to thank my sponsors. That's Mortgage Financial Services here in Texarkana, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org. All right, I'm going to start today, and thank God for being here and this opportunity to talk to you all, and thank you all for listening. Let me start with a quote from the great Rush Limbaugh. The quote is, hold on, let me get to it in my notes. The quote is, feminism was established so as to allow unattractive women easier access to the mainstream of society. Okay, so where does this factor in? Where does this come from? Well, we've heard about this big Sydney Sweeney blow up with all these ugly people being mad that she's the face of an organization. First of all, how many ugly fat girls are buying American Eagle stuff? Well, let's just ask that. And look, I get it. I'm a bit portly. I'm not in the best shape of my life right now. However, still a good-looking guy. And so maybe I have that to my advantage. Thank you, God. Good genetics, you know. But anyway, how many ugly fat girls are buying American Eagle stuff? I'd say not many. However, in one day, American Eagle's profits went up $400 million. Their stock went through the roof. So what's this say? Number one, marketing is, is selling a dream. Hey, if I buy this, can I look like that? And then there used to be two, right? If I look like that guy in that commercial, can I get that girl in that commercial? It was something to aspire to, something to want to be. So that's marketing. You want to market yourself, and then you want to appeal to the people that are buying your product. If you're not worried about, out of shape people buying your product, then don't market to them. If you want attractive people buying your stuff, market to them. Even when I ran real estate, when I ran retail establishments, the person, if it wasn't my actual door person, I would have a salesperson that most of the time was good looking and a bit flirty, and they would be waiting at the door to talk to you. Now they weren't trying to do anything that they shouldn't, but just to help you, because people are nicer to better looking people. And so that's where Rush Limbaugh was dead on by saying feminism gives ugly people access to mainstream society. That's just the way the world works. And even with your attitude, if you have a better attitude as opposed to an ugly attitude, people are going to treat you better. So I don't understand why everybody's up in arms that all of a sudden it's okay to be a good-looking white person again. I mean, look, it's amazing. This is who their customer is. This is who their base is. Good for American Eagle. Good for a company finally saying, hey, we're not going to bow down and kiss the ass of the woke culture anymore. Good for them for doing that. I'm on board. Let's go get it. Just red-blooded American. Do I think she's attractive? Absolutely. As does every man in America. If he says he doesn't, get his eyes checked. So anyway, I just wanted to start with that. I think it's wild that it's even an issue, and that and everybody's not mad about it, but it's the same crowd that we've made to feel important for the last 20 years that's mad about it. The same idiots that are mad about everything. They're mad that we don't understand their gender. And hey, you go do you. If you want to call yourself a butterfly, go fly, baby. Go be a butterfly. Doesn't mean I have to think you're a butterfly too. If you don't want an attractive person on an ad, don't buy it. Obviously, it worked to the tune of $400 million in the last week. So somebody knows something. And here's the overall thing of it, I believe. Here, a little Ratliffology, if this hadn't already been in it. We're just tired of being beat down. We're just tired of having everything just rammed down our throat, beat over our head, and being told that we're hateful and that we're bigots. When it's actually the hateful bigots coming at us. How dare you, like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, attractive woman? How dare you? How Nazi of you? What are you talking about? How ridiculous. What a claim. And here's what makes me mad about that argument. How you've minimalized what the Nazis actually did. 6 or 7 million Jews killed. Much less a war across Europe that killed, I don't even remember the numbers. You've made that not a big deal by calling everything Nazis. It's like, you ever tell somebody something and they don't know enough that they think you're crazy? That's what I feel like sometimes. I'm like, what? These people don't even know enough to know what they don't know. They're so indoctrinated, they're so bought into the woke lie, the woke myth, that they think this is reality. Anyway, I'm just, look, and from American Eagle's standpoint, they could be the most liberal company in the world. I don't know. But their marketing team gets it. And that's my favorite quote from the jerk. It's a profit thing. That's what they're in business to do, to get people to pay attention to their brand, buy their brand, wear their brand, tell their friends about their brand. I remember when I was in high school and right after high school, a kid that went to our high school, it was a big deal that he got to be an Abercrombie and Finch model. And that was a huge deal. Right, and everybody was proud of him for it. And some of those ads were scandalous, too, back in, 03, 04. Like an old man, 03 and 04. But, that was cool. We were glad for him. He's a good-looking guy. So I don't, anyway, I'm glad to see the pendulum swing. Sex sells. Sex is always sold. It's the way of the world. If you say it isn't, stop lying to yourself and stop lying to me. Even in every industry, people that pick up the phone, people that talk on the radio, their voice it sells. That's where we are. So the outrage on this is just ridiculous. Golly. Anyway, all right. We're going to move on. But I just had to say that. Good for American Eagle. And good for Sydney Sweeney. I'm sure she made a piece off that. Good. Use what you got. Golly. It's just crazy. All right. Here's what Donald Trump just said yesterday. X.com, Nick Sorter. Just in, President Trump slams Obama and his cronies for staging a coup against him. He says it's right there, the orders, the memos, the whole thing. The whole thing is right there. Go away, hold on. The whole thing is right there. This was an attempted coup. It was a failed coup. I'll say it again. There must be arrest or nothing will happen. Well, that's interesting to hear. Now, once again, I don't think Obama gets touched. There will be some high-ranking guys that are lower than the president that may get arrested. We'll see in the end, right? Because we've been told we were crazy. This kind of stuff doesn't happen. Not our government. And then I'm always thinking, what are you talking about? Hoover started the FBI to spy on people, on his opponents. So with that as the base of the FBI, you think all of a sudden something's changed in 70 years? I think not. This is the way of power. This is why our founders set up our Constitution to limit our government so that we the people are in control. We've just forgotten that. Why have we forgotten that? Because we've been indoctrinated by the 45 points of communism that I've read many times on this show, that were read into the congressional record January 10th of 1963, that say, hey, we want, they don't, this is what they want to do. They want to make you, depend on the government. Anyway, I digress. Let's go on. X.com, Mike Lee. Chucky Boy Schumer, Charles Schumer, distinguished senator from New York. This guy, this guy says it's scandalously false to suggest that the SAVE Act, requiring proof of citizenship to vote in the U.S. elections, is somehow... Oh, no. He says it's an attempt to revert to Jim Crow. What? By wanting people to be... Oh, you have to prove that you're a citizen. Now it's Jim Crow. The Democrats are the party of slavery. The Democrats are the party of racism. That's who they have been, and that's who they will be. There was no great party switch. And look, I understand we talk about our great-grandparents and all that, and it's not the Democrat Party, and it's not. But that's the same party that wouldn't let people walk into a schoolhouse. Let's don't blur the lines. Let's don't be shy about it. That Democrat Party hasn't changed. Why do they want the Democrats? Why do they want to not have required proof of citizenship to vote? Because they want to steal the election. They're losing the black vote. The black vote's what won Donald Trump the last election. Anytime they don't get 95% of the black vote, they lose, the Democrats. It just is what it is. They're having to replace the voters that they're losing because they've screwed them out of generations of opportunity by giving them little to no breadcrumbs in exchange for freedom. Right? That's what's happened. So it's just amazing that these guys just... And here's the deal. The first one to call you a racist, Democrat. First one to call you sexist. First one to call you bigot, always a Democrat. Because that's what they are. Right? That's who they are. Just like somebody just... generally, in my humble opinion, the first one to tell you that you're looking good... someone that feels like they're looking good, someone that feels good about themselves. The first one to compliment you on how you're doing, they have enough confidence to do that. The first one to say you are whatever you are, that's what they're doing. Hey, man, you look like you're feeling good. Well, if you say that, you're probably feeling good. Hey, man, you look like you're having a great day. Well, you're probably having a good day. Hey, you look like a racist. That means you're probably a racist because that's what's on your mind. I don't know. Might be a stretch. It's my show, so I can stretch it. Just wild. All right, what else do I have here? Yes. This could be, besides Sydney Sweeney being in, wearing that Canadian tuxedo and showing the goods, this could be the second most personally impactful story to me today. Owen Schroyer on X.com. The Trump EPA just eliminated the auto start-stop engine regulations. Thank God. Now, look, I've only got 113,000 miles on my truck, so I've still got it for years to come. I'll put 250, 300,000 miles on this truck before I even think about getting a new one, because that's what I do, because they last forever if you take care of them. However, having to get in my truck and override the fact that it's going to turn off at every red light every time is maddening. It's upsetting. I just don't get it. Oh, like, do you remember, and I know this is when the carburetors were a thing and all that, but I'm sure you all remember, hey, just leave your car running, and every time you start it, it's equivalent to 30 minutes of running. Right? I mean, that was the thing. Now it's, hey, just let your starter get burned up at every red light and stop sign you come to. I was talking to somebody, it's been a few years ago, that was driving through Harlem, and I think they were in, well, I won't say the brand of a car because I don't feel like dealing with all that, but they were in an upper-end car, $100,000 range, which, I mean, now, that's a truck. But anyway, at the time, that's a big deal. I mean, it's $100,000 still a lot of money to me. Okay. I've derailed myself. Anyway, they were in an upper end car, and they would stop at all these stop signs going through Harlem, and finally the car just didn't start anymore because it had started and stopped too much. The person with them got out and ran to the subway and jumped on. Like, I'm not waiting with you here. Hilarious. Anyway, glad that's going away. Okay, so we've talked about the attack on white people, and we've talked about the attack on being good looking, and let's get into that some more with the Cincinnati beatdown at this jazz festival. Have you seen what this idiot police chief, Teresa, I don't know how to say her last name, Thedege, Theetge, she's trying to blame white people for getting beat up. If a group of white dudes or a group of white people were to curb stomp two black folks somewhere, look, cops were doing their job and didn't kill a guy who was high, but put their knee on his neck to control him, and people burned cities across the country. Can you imagine if just a group of white citizens curb stomped two black people coming out of a festival? Look, over in Frisco, Texas, black kid stabs and kills a guy for when he was in the wrong, okay? Allegedly. Until the trial happens. Stabs and kills a guy, raises so much money, stays in an $800,000 house, and he's portrayed to be the victim for killing someone. So these black people curb stomped and just beat these people to death, and they get blamed for it? What kind of wild world is this? I think anybody who jumps somebody and beats them down should be, I don't care what color you are. Why is this a thing? Why is this okay? Look, the most hated group of people in this country are Christian white men. And I'm one of them, and I'm proud to be. And whatever you are, you should be proud to be that. If you're a black man, if you're a black woman, if you're a white woman, it doesn't matter. You should be proud to be that. But it doesn't mean you get more rights than I get. It doesn't mean you're allowed to do things I'm not allowed to do. That's the beauty of the Constitution. Blind justice, they used to call it. Certainly not a two-tier justice system. It's just wild. This same police chief in Cincinnati is also being sued by officers for discrimination against white males in promotions, assignments, and overtime opportunities. So for her to come out and blame the white people, this is how she thinks. Now, I don't know if she's a DEI hire. I wasn't invited to the meetings. I don't know if that's what got her job. Yet, once again, they're going to blame white people. And she's getting sued. And look, if it's right, she'll lose, and if she's right, she'll win. I don't know the details of the case, but this is a big deal. Golly, it's just a big deal. We're just demonized all the time, and it gets. Hey, that's the lot we get, though. I'm not going to sit here and complain about it, but I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, moving on. Rod D. Martin on X.com. 21 Democrat states are suing the Trump administration to stop the data sharing that would ensure only legal residents get SNAP benefits. What? Once again, so you want them to be able to vote. Oh, and we want to give them benefits that are due for citizens. Come from Look, the government doesn't just have a big pot of gold sitting at the end of a rainbow that it doles out to everybody. They take it from me. They take it from you by force if they have to. It's taxes. Look, if we can just print all the money we have to, let's just all stop paying taxes. Why can't we do that? If it's all just imaginary anyway. Why do these states want to stop the SNAP benefits? Because they want to stop incentivizing illegals to come into their state. They don't want to give them a reason to come and be comfortable. I don't know however many of you played sports ever at whatever level, right? I played high school sports and stuff like that. But, when you came in, like it's about to be August. When you came in August, the hottest practices you were going to have were the first 3 weeks. They didn't ever really get easy. Those were the hardest ones. Why? Because Coach needed all the quitters to stop, to just leave. Needed everybody that was going to quit to go ahead and do that. He didn't want to incentivize you for being there by giving you easy practices. Same thing with this. Get all the people that aren't going to come unless they get benefits, get them out of the way. Hey, we're not doing this anymore. There's no incentive to come. We're not going to give you a house. We're not going to give you food. Look, are we going to take care of you? Yes. Do we want you to starve? No. But also, don't just come here. Come here the right way. Of course, Democrats are against that because they really hate people and it's all about power. Now, speaking of white men, let's talk about your boy Donald Trump. DJT. It takes a man to take the punishment and the abuse that this guy takes. And it takes a man to do what he did. He's in London, and he doubles down on what he said, calling the mayor of London a nasty, stupid guy. He says Khan is a bad guy. So much so that Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, is like, oh, he's one of my friends. Trump's, I don't care. He's a bad guy. He's bad for London. It takes a man to just say that. He isn't worried about what you think. He's worried about saying what's right. Now, once again, I don't always 100% agree with him. I agree with him a lot. But it takes a man to stand up when the world's against you and say, hey, this is the way it is. This is where we are. This is the truth. Now, the only one truth is Jesus. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes to the Father but through me. But besides that, Donald Trump just said he spoke the truth. But remember, you get penalized in today's world for speaking the truth. Hey, this mayor's bad. He's bad for this city. Oh, how dare he. Hey, this woman's good looking. She's going to be good for sales. Oh, how dare they. Hey, incentivizing these illegals to be in the state is bad for our country. Oh, how dare you. Hey, you have to prove that you're a citizen to vote. Oh, how dare you. We're penalized for telling the truth. We're penalized for wanting honesty. Hopefully that's changing. Hopefully that's going away. Okay. Have you all heard about all the starving children in Gaza because Israel and the U.S. are horrible? I challenge you to go to thenationalreview.com and read the article titled Israel's Side of the Story. We haven't shut down aid to Gaza. We've just been distributing it through Israeli and American means. We stopped giving it to the UN because Hamas was taking it. And they were using it and selling it instead of giving it to its own people. They were enriching themselves with it, which is what happens anytime we give dictators anywhere in the world supplies. They don't give it to the people. They don't care about their people. These are the same people they use as body shields. That's why they put all their headquarters in hospitals and schools. They don't care if we kill them all. Dictators don't care about people, and then everyone else is either too ignorant or cares too much about making their point to lay out the facts. Good for the National Review for laying this out. The nationalreview.com, Israel's side of the story. It's worth the read in every way. So make sure you pick that up. It's good. I've got another article from National Review over the Sydney Sweeney stuff. I think I've covered it. Here's what's funny. Donald Trump, this is from the Daily Caller newsfoundation.org. Green activists fighting to stay afloat as Trump terminates Biden bucks. Because these green groups, environmental groups, can't support themselves. That's the joke of the whole thing. They need money stolen from me and you once again in order to stay relevant and able to stay up. Look at it. Look at what's happening in the media. Look at what's happening since we're turning off some of these dollars. Just imagine if we had complete control of our money. If all these crooks and scoundrels didn't have control of it. It'd be a wild thing. All right, let's keep going. I think that's it. Oh, North Carolina. Go ahead and raise up. Take your shirt off. Wave it around your head like a helicopter. North Carolina. North Carolina Republicans defeat Democrat governor's veto on genders, guns, and deportations. Good. The Democrat, this is from the Blaze Media. The Democrat governor of North Carolina vetoed 14 bills, but Democrat lawmakers joined with Republicans in a bipartisan way to say, hey, gender is male and female. Law enforcement should cooperate with federal officials on immigration enforcement. And then there was some gun rights stuff to go through. Good. The people are waking up, and your representatives will wake up when you make your voice heard. And if they don't, vote them out. We are still in control, no matter what the media tells you. And thank God for it. Things are looking bright in our country. Things are looking bright in the great state of Texas. Things are looking bright where you are. One, because Jesus is your hope. And two, because we still have the ability to choose the direction of this country. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you have a great day. We'll be back. We'll do it all again tomorrow. I've got some exciting guests lining up, some political candidates, and all the things, so be looking for that. I hope God blesses each and every one of you today.